What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to bring you a quick 1 week review of the iPhone 12. This is the regular version, not the Pro, and I'll kind of go into why I chose that over the Pro or the Pro Max, because previously I came from an iPhone 10 Max, which was a much larger phone than this, but I wanted to downsize to a smaller phone. I've had it for about a week now, so I wanted to get an idea and just give a review up of what I think of it. So the first thing, I got the 64 gigabytes. I'm going to take the case off this so you guys have a better look at it. I got the 64 gigabyte version mainly because I have my own home server and don't need the 128 or 256 storage on it. My old phone was only using about half of its storage on there. I rarely keep a whole lot of stuff on my phone. So the first thing is that this is around a 6-inch phone. I'm not going to go over all the specs. I believe it has the A14 Bionic chip in it. Not positive. It doesn't matter. You can get a much lower grade chip in this and it would probably be just fine. 2900 milliamp battery on it, which isn't a lot, but iPhones are very, very efficient. Their processors are very, very efficient, so we don't have any problems there. So the first thing I noticed when picking up this phone is that I originally wanted to use it without a case. I do not like using a case, and I wanted to go that route, but after trying to run with it a few times outside, even with just bare hands or with gloves on, it's a very slippery phone. So you have a glass back here, and you have an aluminum kind of matte finish there on the siding, so it does have a little bit of slipperiness to it. You can hold it pretty easily, but if you're doing anything physically active, running, we have an 11-month-old who likes to throw it around, so I just felt better with a case on it. I did buy AppleCare for this because I think it's $300 and some to replace the back glass on this. And while this does have the new, I believe it's some type of, I forget what they call it, but it's supposed to be a stronger than like your Gorilla Glass. It's going to be a little bit stronger than that for the actual front facing of it, but the back is still very, very gentle. And if you go to the Reddit forum or just look at people's reviews of it does break pretty easily. I've seen people break the actual camera module here, the glass on it, and had to have it replaced. But overall, I really love the size and the weight of this phone. It's a very light phone coming from the 10, the XX Max, or 10 Max, whatever you want to call it. It is a very light, easy to use phone, and I really think this is all the size you need. I do not think the Max phone is really worth the price point or the camera, which it does have a little bit larger sensor camera, but that also can let more noise in, so it probably won't do as good in low light as a camera like this. So the screen, it's an OLED screen. It looks the exact same as the 10 Max. I cannot tell any difference. 60 hertz, so you will notice it's not as fast as some of the Android phones out there, like the Samsung Galaxy S21 has 120 hertz, the Pixel 5 has a 90 hertz. I assume their next phone will be, because that was one of the big downfalls of this, is that it only has a 60 hertz panel on it. It does look really nice, so I do really like the look of the actual OLED, but it is not the most... It's probably a medium grade panel out there when you compare it to some of the other ones, like the Galaxy S21, for example, or the Pixel 5. Or even the new OnePlus 9, I think has a pretty nice display on it. It's a Samsung display, so they're basically just sourcing probably a different version from the S21 display on there. As far as the actual feel of it, day-to-day use of it, portability is very nice. It can get me through a whole day of battery life. It's not quite as good as the 10 Max, but I usually have anywhere between 35 and 40% at the end of the day. It does have 5G on it, and we do have 5G in our area where I'm home at right now. If I turn this actual off, it usually goes directly to 5G, so hopefully it focuses on that. Try to get out of the frame here, but you could probably see that we do have 5G in our area, and that destroys the battery life. So most of the time during the day, this phone is actually connected to Wi-Fi. That's why I get such good battery life out of it. Anytime I let that 5G run, it will literally destroy. Like, you can literally see, especially if you're using it heavily, you can literally see that the percent go down for minute, or not minute, but like every 5 to 10 minutes you can see it drop, just because it's such a power draw. So I probably usually turn that off most of the time, but I'm mostly in Wi-Fi, so I haven't mess with that yet, but it probably gets you a little bit better battery life down the line. While it looks premium, the more you use it, I wiped this off before we shot this video, and if you look at the back, hopefully it focuses on that. If not, I'll get you a better shot of it, but it is absolutely disgusting. So it is a fingerprint magnet, and I don't think this is an $800 phone. This to me feels like a $700, $675 phone. I would prefer something that's a little bit more rugged, like the Pixel, even the Pixel 4a, the Pixel 5. While it may not be this nice, fancy, and looking material, it probably will withstand a drop better just because it doesn't have a glass back. So if they got rid of this glass back, I think this thing would be mainly indestructible, specifically with how good this front display is, the front screen when it comes to shatter resistance. If you've seen the drop test on these, it actually does fairly well. I do not have a screen protector on it, and from what I've read and saw, it does scratch up pretty easily, but there's no scratches or anything on it. Face ID is nice. It sucks right now because everyone's wearing a mask. I work at a hospital, so we have to wear a mask, so it's kind of a pain to use from day to day at work. We don't have time to use our phone that much, but if you just get out and want to use it, it's kind of a pain. Camera. It's not great. I can't notice any difference from our 10 Max when it comes to the actual camera. It's good. Phone cameras are great, but if you have a full frame DSLR, I'm shooting this on an Nikon Z6 II. Once you start getting into full frame cameras, any of the phone cameras are good, not great. But it does a good job, especially with adequate light. It's very, very good. Video on this thing is excellent. So it does have very, very good video, especially in good light. The video on this thing is amazing. I haven't done an audio test on it yet to see how that is, but the video on this thing is really good. All your apps are really good on this phone. That's one reason why I stick with Apple. I actually honestly will probably switch to a Pixel phone down the line, but I really like some apps on here. I love Overcast for my podcast, and I listen to a ton of podcasts. Overcast isn't on an Android phone, it's just a specific iOS app. And I just think a lot of things run better on here. Face ID, while it is nice, I prefer a fingerprint reader now, but when we go back to normal, Face ID is really nice. The battery life's great. Apple support is excellent. You can get Apple Care, and if I break it, I can take it to the store, and they will likely fix it that day, or they will probably replace it. I've had where they've replaced one of my phones. I think it was 8 or 7. I went in, broke it, had Apple Care, took it in, they just gave me a new one, said, there you go, you're on your way. So their customer service is really, really good. And everything just works great. All the apps are fluid. You don't have any problems. It is missing a few things that some of the newer phones are. The big thing is that the screen is just okay. It's only 60 hertz. That's probably the big downfall. I went to Best Buy and played around with some of the higher refresh rate phones out there, and they are so much more smooth and they look so much more high end, especially the Galaxy S21 just looks so much more high end compared to this. This phone looks really dated screen wise when you start comparing it to some of the other options out there. It pairs well with all your Apple stuff, so I have an Apple Watch, which is starting to get annoying. I'll go into that in a different video, but if you have an Apple Watch, if you have a MacBook, if you have the AirPods Pro, which my wife has all that, she lives in that Apple ecosystem, they pair really well. So that's a huge plus that everything kind of connects, pairs very well, and you don't have any problems there. You do have widgets now on the home screen, which you can kind of see mine there. It's a little limited compared to Android, but I have a feeling it's going to get more advanced as it goes. So that's it. It feels really good in the hand. That's one thing that I love about this phone is the size. The Apple ecosystem, even though I'm only using that, I use all Windows-based laptops and a desktop. But overall, I really like it. Apple's customer service was great. When I went and picked up the phone, it was super easy. I didn't have any problems. I have a feeling if I went back to the Apple store and had a problem with it, they'd fix it really, really quick. I've had good luck on my Apple store in the past. You have to put a case on it. At least I think you should, especially if you're active at all. Just because it has that glass back. If it didn't have the glass back, I would never put a case on this. If it had more of that Pixel 5 back on it. I would probably never put a case on this, but I'm terrified to break the glass back because it will be very, very expensive to replace. So that's it. I like it. It is a fingerprint magnet. I mean, if you're wanting to, you're going to just have to wipe it off fairly often, which it works pretty well just to wipe it off, and it goes back to its normal state. Maybe just wait to see if you can get it on sale. See if they're running any sales at Best Buy or Verizon, because I don't think it's an $800 phone. $700, $650 if you can get it on sale. I would highly recommend it at that price, just because there's so much better options out there for the price point. So you can get the OnePlus 9 or even the OnePlus 8. You could probably get that for $599 right now or cheaper. The Galaxy S21 often goes on sale. Usually you can get it for $500 if you wait till it goes on sale, or $650. The Pixel 5 is $650 right now. It has been on sale for $600 recently at Best Buy. If you activate it on your carrier, which you're going to do anyways, so I don't see why that would be a big problem. But overall, that's it. I'll get a longer review of this up as I go. But the form factor and those few apps that I love is really why I stick with this. Thanks again, everyone. If you have questions, comments, leave them below. Sorry I'm in a different environment here. The baby's sleeping. I think he's sleeping. Yep, still sleeping. So that's why I kind of did it here, and the furthest away room from him as possible so he could get some sleep. So have a good rest of the weekend. Comments, questions, leave them below, and I'll get back to you, and see you guys next time.